Hi guys, and welcome to yet another update from XYZ Playground. As some of you may already know, we are a collective of young thinkers with different backgrounds from different corners of the world, trying to explore different ideas and concept of innovation. And in our search to provide you a safe space to collaborate and explore these ideas, we are constantly looking out to reach out to more and more people around us. So today I'm sitting here with Alex, who is a part of the broader collective of XYZ Playground. So Alex, why don't you in just a sentence or a few words describe who you are and what you're currently doing?
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Henrik. So my name is Alex, and I've been studying incumbent firms in the context of digitalization. So pretty much what challenges lay out there when you try to embrace digital innovations. Currently work as a product owner for Polestar, an electric vehicle company.
All right, perfect, cool. Yeah, so the theme of this month is change management. And last week we dove into sort of how to get going and how to initiate change. And this week we tried to cover a few, let's say, speed bumps that you may run into on the way when implementing change. So the speed of change is obviously massive. And for the last 2 decades, we've been living in a constant state of just roaring change, really, and especially last year. So, Alex, why don't you start to explain the concept? What is happening when we are constantly imposed with this amount of change, and maybe also give a brief introduction to the concept of change fatigue?
Mm, mm, mm. Absolutely. So as you mentioned, change fatigue is the subjective feelings of mostly employees, but also in top management when you are facing changes that are constantly hitting you, and at some point you will start becoming frustrated because constant changes results in not landing the projects, not finishing your goals, and so on. So that's the overall explanation of change fatigue, pretty
Yeah.
much. Um, and in the context of change management, um, I think it's very important to address these factors, such as new technologies being introduced in a very much higher pace than, for instance, 20 years ago. So you have organizations who, of course, at all costs are trying to be as effective as possible, meaning that they're trying to apply these new technologies in the organizational context. This leads to changes, of course, and there is studies and research showing that the amount of communication that is being invested between top management and employees on the floor is not sufficient enough. Um,
Yeah, so I mean, is this then, and so change fatigue isn't, I mean, when
mm,
you implement a one time like a big change, it's
mm,
rather the constant, the amount of all minor changes that you are forced to, I mean, adapt to. Is that how
mm.
we should interpret this?
Exactly. So you see all these minor changes. As you can see, we're leaving the era where we have big systems being incumbent, building huge legacies, moving into smaller microservices that are fulfilling a better purpose and doing a better job. Um, we're seeing how software as a service subscription models are taking over and getting into the hands of these big incumbent firms, and all these new investments lead to changes that occurs at top level management decision making environments all the way down to the employee. And these employees needs to embrace these changes, and they are the ones that also need to benefit from the same vision and understand that vision. Why are we doing this change? So I think that if there's a gap between the top management and the decision making there, down to the employees, that gap is going to create change fatigue, leaving employees thinking, why are we leaving this project all of a sudden? So we've invested resources, time, planning, we have allocated new capabilities into this, and all of a sudden we're just going to throw it away. That lack of understanding is what creates change fatigue.
All right. Thank you for that introduction to the concept. I believe that in the next coming days, we'll be looking into more and more how we can address this issue. And I mean, what if is all change bad, or are we changing too much? We'll get more into detail about that later on this week. So thank you for joining, Alex. And as I said, we are at XYZ Playground. We are building out a community of young thinkers who offer a different and diverse interpretation of concepts. So this is making us equipped to offer a very personalized service. So if any of you want to get in touch with us in any way or form, just shoot us a message here on LinkedIn. You'll also have our website description linked here in the video as well. So just contact us and we'll get right away. Thank you again, Alex.
Thanks, man.